2 minutes.
She's probably just a fucking idiot, which, you know, is a vibe. Oh, yep. Is it raining? Wow.
It's raining.
Leak. We're suddenly in a...
Oh, Jesus.
Oh. What movie is this? You know? Like, what is the genre of, like, killing 25 people on the beach in the rain?
I don't know. Superb question.
Like, I feel like it's the end. I guess it's Joker. That is the genre of this movie. This is like a big old bummer. This is the movie of like, this is culminated in this guy's being a big old bummer. This is a mod mission.
Yes.
Because in the original game, they do not generally occur. You do kill people who are not like mafia or mob.
Yes.
But like, and sometimes there are people who like you don't even know, like they're not like bad people. Like you kill, like you mess with politicians or whatever in these games.
Yeah, there's that one with like killing the wife for insurance fraud or whatever.
Right, you just like kill a woman for greedy reasons. So like, it's not like this game is very concerned with making you an anti-hero or anything. I mean, well, very concerned with making you even possibly gray area hero. But it's also very cartoony. I think that's the thing that like made me, like people when we were growing up got so up in arms about, I like this guy just being, he's like, if I run he might catch me, I don't know, I'm tired. People just, I remember when we were growing up, there were so many fucking articles and things about Grand Theft Auto, you know, and like, oh, this is like teaching people to be violent and it's da-da-da, and it's like, it's satire. It's like a cartoon.
Yeah.
You know, it's like just because you watch Bugs Bunny drop an anvil on somebody's head does not mean you're then going to go drop an anvil on somebody's head. Like, I think I've even seen a study, and this is like something I saw somewhere and read the title and first paragraph of a internet article talking about it. So this is not...
Wow, you're really trying to make yourself seem unreliable, huh?
Yeah, I just want to be clear. You know, I don't want to be one of these people like, here, I found this thing that's like this was, but it was about this, like somebody did a study that said that actually people who play violent video games tend to have, I can't remember exactly what they said, but there was just like a greater, I can't remember if they said that they actually like get greater empathy for real world pain, or if the study just proved that like they understand the difference between fiction and reality better.
Interesting.
That like a person who has never played video games who watches a person pretend to die will be like a lot more upset about it.
I guess you need to teach your dog to play video games.
What? So that he doesn't freak the fuck out about the things in his dreams?
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably actually, yeah, that's like the instance that would be helpful. Maybe that's why you don't have nightmares all the time and I'm constantly fucking spooked because all I ever played was The Sims.
Yeah.
But yeah, that they actually like, they're able to process it without getting like super emotionally affected. So basically like if you played a lot of the hypothesis, I guess, is that if you play a lot of violent video games when you're younger, when you're older, you're not going to watch something on screen or on TV and get so angry that you have to act out.
Right.
You're able to go, well, that's a movie.
Right.
You know, and I think actually we kind of see that play out because we have to be careful about what movies I watch. Not because I'm going to go, you know, kill civilians, hope knock on wood, but like probably not something I'm not going to do that is what I'm saying. But like I get super emotionally invested in movies. I get like really upset and like it affects my mood. Some like even one movie can affect my mood for like a day, several days. And it's like, you know, on one hand it's like, is that my increased empathy or is that emotional dysregulation? And it's like, Genna does not have to deal with that kind of emotional dysregulation after a film.
Well, with your emotional dysregulation.
Well, he has to deal with my emotional dysregulation, but that's true all the time. That's regardless of whether you watch a movie or not.
Right.
So, I mean, just maybe there's something to that, like, you know, because you play and you realize, I think, like, what people don't realize is that it teaches kids that there is a difference between fictional violence and real world violence. But, like I said, that was, like, a study I sort of read about many years ago. So I wonder what people are saying now. What I have heard is that the supposed studies that are like, it'll make you more violent. Or, like, also, I think there's something to be said for catharsis. Like, this is why... I mean, playing a game where you get to shoot a bunch of people is good for you in the same way, I think, as like watching a really bloody Shakespeare tragedy.
Jesus Christ. Oh
No! Man, cops really like trying to swoop in after you like dive away from something.
yeah.
You almost got it, honey. Almost killed enough people. I love that I've been doing this whole rant about how like this game is actually, like, it's good for you. And you've just been killing civilians the whole time. With the cop. Wow, that cop hit that woman for you, it looked like.
Very messed up.
It's fucked up. He's like, you can't beat him, join him. Nice! Reward 666.
Love it, alright.
Incredible.
Done with that one.
But you know, catharsis exists in game. Like that principle of processing emotion, releasing negativity, however you want to put it, through violence, through fictionalized violence. You know, it's like, it's satisfying to watch Bugs Bunny drop an anvil on Elmer. If in the same way that it is satisfying to shoot a bunch of people as Tommy Vercetti, the same way that it's satisfying to watch everyone die in Hamlet.
Spoilers.
Oh my god. We've talked about this.
Have we?
And also, I mean, like, everyone, it's not quite everybody, so, you know.
Oh, spoilers.
Oh my god. No spoil, like, it's a spoiler to you to know that some people die in Hamlet?
Yeah.
A tragedy? A Shakespearean
things
tragedy?
could be tragic without people dying.
Not a Shakespearean one.
Well, I guess that doesn't reflect very well on Shakespeare, does it?
Hot take. Today's hot take from Genna is that Shakespeare was lame because all of his tragedies involve people dying.
I just think, it's more, more effective to have a tragedy where nobody dies. You don't think so?
Name a tragedy where nobody dies that you think is effective.
Very few people die in Old Boy. And it's kind of, I mean, that dude kills himself, but, it's kind of whatever.
I don't like talking about Old Boy.
Okay, but I'm just like, that's my goal too.
Okay, wow. So we can't discuss that one any further because spoilers. It's a good movie. Trigger warnings on Old Boy.
A lot of them.
A lot of them. So highly recommend Old Boy. Really great action movie. Really great, just all around. The way it's filmed is super cool. The acting is superb. Huge plot twists really get you. I won't name any of the trigger warnings in case you are the type of person who's like, no, don't fucking tell me, because the trigger warnings are like spoilers for you. But if you are the type of person who benefits from them, like me, I suggest looking at a trigger warning website before watching it.
Oh, Juffo tuned in.
Juff! The silence isn't exactly a starve. It's just kind of starve-ish.
Yes, I agree.
You just like frantically looked at the dog and it made me like...
Well, the dog is concerning.
I know. I don't think he's gonna try to poop on camera again. Jeff, welcome. Hey, how's it going? How are you? Thanks so much for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you.
We're hanging out playing Grand Theft Auto, discussing morality of violence in video games.
Yeah, which is ironically enough one of the key topics that Maurice Chavez tries to get as,
It is?
Well, I mean, morality. What is
right,
it?
he talks about morality, but that just ends up being yelling at the nudist.
Yes.
Which is like a whole different thing. Hi, puppy. Oh, I gotta pet the dog for a second. Well, welcome in, Jeff. Nice to see you, etc., etc. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in.
I'm gonna be solving Riley's crossword tomorrow, and hopefully she'll get to solve mine.
I made a cartoon cryptic. I made my first cryptic. I'm very excited. If you know things about classic cartoons, it will probably be pretty easy. I don't think it's going to be that hard. I tried to do a couple kind of tricky surfaces, I guess, and it does have a, I don't know, I think it has a meta. It has like, you get a bunch of letters at the end, and then you have to solve like what the bunch of letters are to like get the last thing in the puzzle. Yeah, it has like one of those.
Cool. Yeah, I also made cryptic, more or less. Scald has solved it, given some feedback, so you'll know that it doesn't have any egregious issues like the previous one.
Which is all egregious issues.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? It's tricky to make a crossword.
Jeff says, way to go, Riley. Thank you. Jeff is also going to offer their pragmatic take on violence in video games. What I was saying is that it works the same as like catharsis and tragedy in theater. Is that, and I'm sure there are people
damn it!
Who like use it as like, oh, this is why I did this. But like, I think for the most part, when humans do something like this, it's a way to release steam, or if you go really arty English major with it, even as a way for like, as a society, for us to like exorcise these things that are socially unacceptable but still impulses.
Like killing 20 women in 2 minutes?
Yeah, I hope not. That mission that the mod added makes me a little uncomfortable.
Yeah,
that they specify women.
fair.
It's just a little bit pointed, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair.
Like, I just feel like saying, like, 20 of this group of people. It's like how in the original games, I'm a little uncomfortable when they're like, kill 20 of this specific gang who is ethnically identified.
Actually, I don't think it ever does that.
Well, that's good.
It's like kill yay many gang members, but it's...
No, it was in the original version, but they changed it.
Oh, yeah, no, in that case, it's just like...
They did edit it.
In the... I think the thing to keep in mind there is it's always... I think that one should always be taken from the perspective of Umberto. It's like Umberto saying something, like kill all the Haitians.
Right.
Which is like, yeah.
That's the Danny Trejo guy?
Yes, the Cuban leader.
Yeah, so like like a big part of this game is the fight between the Cubans and the Haitians, which is like, obviously this is about like Miami and it's basically Miami like gangs in the 80s. So like that's not inaccurate. It's just like adding a rampage mission that's not story based,
right?
Where you just like have to kill one group of people is like makes me uncomfortable. Similarly to kill 20 women.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm like, you have to be an equal opportunity mass murderer, or I'm uncomfortable. Like that's where my line is, I guess.
Right.
But I think it's just because then you get a little away from like just cartoonic violence and a little more into like enacting hate crimes.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The usual rampages are, very reminiscent of the, like I said, GTA 1, GTA 2 arcade sort of gameplay.
Jeff says,
opinion?
If there's a chance our universe is a simulation, and I think there is, then there's a chance this universe is being spun up as a video game for other aliens to fool around with. And they might like to pluck out one of us simulated people to be cruel to for recreation. And just in case they felt a little bit ishy about being cruel to a simulated person, they might make sure to make a universe that has people who are able to be cruel to simulated people. So the selling point of this torture Juff game they might try to make is that, hey, Juff tortured simulated people in their simulated words, so it's totally not even evil to torture Juff, so I don't act as cruelty to simulated people. Oh my gosh. That is some next level thinking.
That's one way to think about it.
Of like, no, but that's like, of like, the lizard people put these video games here so that we look like assholes. And then they can be assholes to us. It's like if I watched my sim be a jerk, and then I'm like, time to die in a basement. That is a fascinating take, Jeff. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that they can't use your actions to make it more comfy for them to be. What if that is what karma really is? Like, it's not that like good things happen to good, like, or bad things to good people. It's just that like, it's whether or not the aliens can justify screwing with you based on your actions.
Interesting. I'm gonna go get some more coffee. I also just pressed this button. I don't know what it does.
It doesn't do anything. It should be fine. As long as you can still hear things out of it. Thank you for checking. Jeff, on the other hand, if I become a really popular torture sim that sells 1 million copies to the aliens, does that mean I get to live forever? I mean, yeah. I think, like, what if you're very entertaining? You know? And it's like, at least you're helping the higher beings with their own catharsis. If we incorporate my theory into your thinking, that violence in media in general, violence in art, it, like, you know, obviously things have nuance here. I'm not saying that, like, obviously not everything makes me comfortable or I think is helpful. What is it? Oh my gosh. My dog is like, Mama, shut up and pet me. He's like, stop talking. He's deaf, Ada, but he still cries at me like this whenever I talk too much because he's like, why are you not paying attention to me? I'll pet him when Genna gets back because he's, oh, no, baby, I'm so sorry. Mama's talking about philosophy and aesthetics. I'm so mad about it. If I become a really popular torture sim, I mean, fuck, man, Sims 4 seems to get to live forever, so probably. Not that that's, you know, you can turn it into a torture sim if you want.
My take is that I don't engage with anything involving like alien or robot morality or whatever, because look, there are... People are basically all people, you know, they're pretty much...
I'm gonna pet a dog.
You know, they have so many commonalities, and yet there are people whose moral kind of ideas and conception of the world are totally incomprehensible and alien to me. And, you know, as much as I might try to empathize in one way or another, I cannot realistically understand it fully. And if we're talking about something outside of that, aliens or whatever, it's just... I cannot possibly hope any of that would be comprehensible or intuitable in our terms.
That is a good point.
Yeah. Oh my god, I gotta do the chase again. Right, because I just got ran over by some asshole.
Right.
Christ. Man.
Should I cut this discussion out and put on my other YouTube channel?
Yeah.
I like to, when we get too far afield from the video game, I do like to cut it when we just start talking about like literature or culture. I like to cut it out and then put it on my other channel.
Reasonable enough.
Which I do more like comedy or like book discussions and stuff. And my recent hour-long video about vintage cartoons, which is performing very well, which is funny because I didn't expect a video that long to do well. But
y'all should watch it. Gandy Goose. He's a goose. He's
well,
got a funny laugh.
Yeah, I guess he's in this one. I forgot. This one's not entirely about him. I am going to share the YouTube channel.
Oh, yes, you're talking about Haunted House. Even better.
Yeah, the Haunted House.
It's mostly Gandy Goose, who's a goose, but there's also ghosts, and people love ghosts.
People fucking love ghosts. I mean, that's what Terry clearly thought.
Yeah.
Terry was like, people love ghosts. So we're gonna do ghosts 60,000 fucking times. We're gonna do so many ghosts.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Hello, Mr. Dog.
Your doggy's upset.
Why is your dog so upset?
Here is the YouTube. Highly recommend. I mean, I guess, it is mine, so I guess it would be surprising if maybe. Okay. You talk to the people.
Wow, does the dog want attention? Is your dog an attention whore? Yeah, totally recommend it. Very cool stuff. It's really a unique view at trying to summarize and capture some of the weirdness of this particular cartoon studio. And it's not like a minor cartoon studio. They made like 1 billion, and then they were in reruns forever. We try to talk about the most interesting ones, but I suppose they're more popular for Mighty Mouse, and I'd never heard of Mighty Mouse until recently, but there's nothing to talk about with Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse is so fucking boring.